In Genesis, we've come to the crux, the key moment at the beginning, the fall of Adam and Eve, and we encounter the enemy, Satan, the devil, the serpent. And so I think I may have spoken about this a little bit beforehand, but just to remind you about who it is that's coming, who it is that they face. Satan is not a anti-God. As God is good, he is equally evil, and he has as much power as God does. No, that's not Satan. Satan, when God created, the first creatures he created were angels. And because God is love, love can only be love when it's freely given. When we have a choice to say yes to love or no to love. If we are forced to love, it isn't love. If we have no choice, it is not love. And so we as human beings have that choice to say yes to God or no to God, to obey or disobey. And the same choice was given to the angels. The difference between us and them, obviously we have bodies, they don't. They are pure intelligence. We are mind, body, and spirit, and we learn. And so our decision for God or against God is one that takes a lifetime. Whereas the angels, because they are pure intelligence and they understand completely and what the choice they're making, when they make their choice, it's once and forever. And so Satan made his choice not to serve. I shall not serve is the great war cry of Satan. And he wants to be like God. He wants to be like God. Saint Michael, who defeats him, a little aside, I wasn't going to talk about this, but Saint Michael, the name Michael, you already know, Michael means who is like God. And that name, who is like God, is a bit of a challenge. It's a challenge to Satan, who wanted to be like God. And it indicates of what we should be like, what angels should be like, and what human beings should be like. We should be like God. Who is like God? There's no one like God. And Satan certainly is not like God. And here God is love. Satan rejects love, and so he is filled with hatred. He turns away from love and he embraces hatred. And hatred for God and hatred for everything that God does, everything that God creates. And so God has made this wonderful creation of Adam and Eve, and Satan hates it and wants to destroy it. Not because creation has done anything to him. It's completely innocent. Adam and Eve are innocent, but it doesn't matter. Because I hate God, I want to destroy everything he does. And so Satan insinuates himself into the garden and begins to tempt Adam and Eve. And they are together when he starts tempting them to turn. And what he does is he causes them to lose trust in God and insinuates that God actually is holding stuff back, that they could have more. If you want it, you could be like gods. This is what Satan wants. If he wants to be like God, he wants more. And he's saying, surely you could be like God, and so did he really say he's a liar? Satan's always a liar. He's a thief. So he lies about everything. He's a thief. He steals our joy, our peace, our salvation, and he's a murderer. He wants us dead. He wants you dead, really. And so he approaches them and speaks to Eve. Did he really say you can't eat of any of the trees? And of course we know he said you can eat of any of the trees except that one over there. And Eve responds as such, but it seems that she already she's starting to doubt because of Satan, and because she adds, she says, we're not to touch that, we're not to eat of that tree, nor are we to touch it, she adds, because God never said you can't touch it, but she adds that. And Satan goes on to tempt about, God's holding back on you. If you ate it, then you would know the difference between good and evil. And here, it actually is not an intellectual knowledge of good and evil. It's what they're talking about is more an authority to say what is good and what is evil. I will decide what is good and what is evil. And you will not die, says Satan. And of course, they do die, not immediately. Spiritually, yes, they die. They die spiritually because they cut themselves off from lie. As soon as they make that choice to disobey, they've lost their trust in God. They've believed Satan. They've, there's this triple concubines. They forgot to bring the text. There's that desire for something that is not rational, which is beyond them. So they want to be like God. They're nothing like God. They're human beings. They're created things. They're not going to be God ever, nor will Satan. It's ridiculous that they would want to be like God, and yet they believe the lie and strive to reach out to something that is clearly beyond them. So they've lost that trust in God, and they disobey. They want something that is actually not rational if they thought about it. The triple, that's one part of the triple concubines, the desire for something that's actually not rational, it's beyond them. The pleasure of the eye, they saw that it was good to eat and it looked good, and so that the satisfaction of the senses and the possession of things, all of them, these things they fall to. But it's disobedience to God. They come to know good and evil. Yeah, they discover what evil and good are. Evil, they discover what they've done is evil. They discover the evil that they've been drawn into. Yeah, now they know evil, the face of evil. And all their children, all the way up to us, we know and experience that evil on a daily basis. And they also know good, the good that they have lost. The good that they've chosen freely to abandon. They were in complete union with God, complete harmony with Him. They knew that joy, and with one another, and with nature. They knew now the good that they've lost. And Satan goes happy after mauling this beautiful, perfect work of God. Thank God for Jesus Christ. And tomorrow we'll hear about how that God plans, already the seed is sown, about how He will restore humanity. But in the gospel, Jesus comes. He comes to restore us once again, that we might see Him, hear Him, and be able to speak of Him. He heals our sin through His death and resurrection.